Okay, welcome to Bugging Out Part 2. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. If you're just now joining us on this, go back and watch the first one first, okay? Because I've laid out all of the basics there. So now we're going to pick up. We're wading through that first day of the grid being down. And I just explained it's important that somebody assume, the person who knows the most, assume the leadership role and expect and require that everyone else work together as a team, okay, to help the group survive and move on to their next place. So as we have these people coming to us, some will come and some won't, okay? But I'm not going to put the safety and the lives of my children or my wife in danger by keeping waiting. Maybe they'll show up, maybe. No, it's not going to be one of those deals, because everybody knows, get to me, okay? If they don't know, now here's the thing. Who knows and who doesn't? I've pretty much told everybody, okay? And after that, it's not my job to go out and keep reminding them, now remember, get to me, right? Once I express to someone the importance, my feeling of the importance of preparing, I don't dog on them about it, because it's the best way to drive people away from you is to keep hammering. And I get a lot of comments. I know that a lot of you have written to me and said, I've been trying to get my brother or my sister-in-law or my this or my that. I've been trying to get them to prepare for years. Well, here's the thing. After about the second time you mentioned it, you're just putting up a wall, okay? And they're going to be more and more resistant. And the way that you need to do that, and I probably should make a separate video about this, the way you need to do it is simply, it's kind of like evangelism, but not quite. If Jesus, he didn't tell his disciples he was going to make them hunters of men. He said make them fishers of men. And really, you want to do that. You want to make yourself and your lifestyle and your life attractive to them so they will be interested in it, want to learn more about it, and then maybe get into it themselves. As soon as they start to ask your advice on something, okay, you go now you see the bobber, right? Now it may or may not be time to set the hook. You got to figure that out, right? But you help and you discuss it. And once they see preparedness as being interesting and being the ultimate responsibility, unless they're totally irresponsible and there's nothing you can do with that. But if a person has any sense of responsibility, they're going to see that preparedness is the ultimate responsibility. And then you help them come along. But the idea that you're going to beat somebody into submission by ragging on them and telling them and trying to get them to prepare and all this usually doesn't work. If it works in your case, I wish you well, but usually it doesn't, okay? Have a little weenie weeding. If you just joined us on the second one and don't know what that is, what that means, watch the first one first. Okay, so I wade through that first day. And that second night, now people, in my opinion is based on knowing a lot about people, now people are going to become more concerned. And now I have a real good idea. If I was fairly certain before that the grid's down, not coming back and anytime soon, I'm certain now. So towards the end, as it gets to the end of the first day, I think you're going to see people starting to come out more and more. Now they're worried about the dark. People don't like dark, They're worried about the dark. They want to get together. They want to have, maybe we'll have a little weenie roast out in the cul-de-sac, and we'll get together and everybody will bring some of their firewood out and their marshmallows and their hot dogs and kind of, because they'll want to come together. They'll want to group together. People feel safer in a group. And we might even kind of host that. Okay. We might and probably will we will be the one to invite everybody. Hey, bring your chairs. I'll put a fire pit out in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and bring whatever food you've got. You know, and we'll have a discussion. And that's when we're going to do two things. We're going to learn how everybody else is feeling. And then I will express to whatever extent I think is appropriate. And I don't know what will be appropriate. It will be how appropriate it will be different for everybody there. I will express my thoughts to a certain extent. And I might even say, I think there's a possibility, there's been talk that the grid was under, cyber threat. This could be it. Everybody needs to understand that this could go on for a long time. Weeks, months. Now, right there, you're going to see who's with you and who's not, because you're going to see there will be a lot of people say, oh, no, that's not going to happen. Okay. Now, those people, you're not going to go to the next level of trying to help or explain, okay? The ones who just dismiss it. Just dismiss it. And then, okay, well, if you don't believe me, that's okay. Now you're speaking to about half of the remaining, and you're saying there's a chance that this could go on. Now, in my case, I'll bring out my books, and I said, here, I wrote 6 books on this. If you've written books, show them your book. If you haven't, say, I've read about this. I've read that there was an EMP commission back in 2000 that came out and said that if the grid went down, and of course there was about EMP or CME, up to 90% of the people would die in the first 12 months. And then you're going to get, why would they die? Why, just because the lights are out? And you say, well, because there's no more food being delivered, okay? You can't get any more fuel for your vehicles. You can't get any more medication. The grocery stores will run out of food in a couple of days from people looting them. And you're going to see different reactions from different people. Some people will be listening. Others will be going, oh, no, I don't believe that. Okay, they're not the ones you can talk to. And if somebody said, well, I can't see that happening. I said, well, people have done a lot of studies on this, and this is what they think. If there are any people in the group that seem like they're receptive to that, to listening, to learning more, there may even be some people in that group, 1 or 2, that actually know a little bit about it. And they're going to be understanding. You're going to see them over nodding their head. Or maybe, agreeing with the group and saying, yeah, I've read about that. That this is something. I saw a Nat Geo thing on this. I saw a Nightline thing on this. And what he's saying is right. And now you're going to see who's becoming concerned. And you'll say, how much food do you have in your house? Well, I guess I could make it a week, a couple of weeks, got a freezer. I said, well, I'd suggest you go down to the store, as soon as you can and see how much food you can get. How much should we get? As much as you can. I mean, if the grid's down, you don't know whether it's coming back up in a month or a year. So you kind of make your case. You make your soft case. Okay. There may be people now, but you don't try to push it. Because you want to be getting as much information as you're giving. Okay. You want to see who's who, what's what. After everybody has kind of self-selected into their group of how much they believe, how much they're willing to go and all that, and then, bring out the beer. Make sure that everybody, and bring out all your booze. Make sure that they all get everything they want to drink, and you don't drink anything, right? Because you want the truth of them to come out. Oh yeah. That's a historical method of finding what's really going on in people, Get them drinking. Then you're going to see. there may be one or two people that come out of that group and say, I think I have learned a little bit about you tonight, and I think we're on the same page. And then you kind of, you just touch feelers a little bit, and you find out gradually a little bit about, maybe you have found an ally. Maybe you found someone that you want to bring with you. Maybe you find out that they're set up better than you are, and they invite you to go with them. And then you make your decision. I don't know who that person is in your situation. You're going to have to make your own decision. And then after everything is wound down from that, and you say goodnight to everyone, and you wait until you figure everybody's in bed. Now, if you haven't done so before, and here's what we would do, because I might have loaded one of the SUVs up the day before, just kind of depends on what else is going on. Now you load everything. You have your SUVs backed up to the doors. We have 3 garages. We have 3 SUVs, so I have one in front of each garage door. We load everything up. Who's calling me? I don't know. And you load everything up. And then you wait for sunup. Why don't you drive out at night? Because there's no lights on at night. Because you driving down a lonely highway with your lights on is going to bring attention to you from anybody who's out there. And also because you want to see what's going on, not just where your headlights are showing you. You want to be able to see everything around you, okay? When you top a rise on a hill, you don't want to just see the next 300 feet your headlights are showing, or 600 or whatever they show. You want to see the top of the next hill and everything in between, okay? So that's why you take off during the day and you head towards your alternate location. Some people call it a bug out location. Okay. I call it an alternate location or a secondary location. We have secondary, third, fourth, fifth. We do it in stepping stones. Any of which could really be a final destination if needed. That's the important thing. Now, none of them would be as good as our real final destination, but if something happens, we could live at any of them on the way. That means there are permanent structures there. I don't think I'm going to get into more detail than that. Permanent structures, mixed use land, meaning a combination of woods, fields, and water. You don't want to hold up at a place that doesn't have water. Best thing is a nice sized lake or pond, big, real big, with fish in it. You have a water source and you have a food source. So know where those places are. And this would be a good thing for you. You can use Google Earth or drive your area. Say, hey, where could we get to in 5, 10, 15 minutes by vehicle? And I've talked about state parks before, county parks, state parks, national parks. These things are legitimate stopping places and bug out locations, depending on a variety of things we don't have time to get into here. So that's what I'm headed out. And there are going to be, now if we have too much to load, there's always that possibility. But all the food we can load, all the camping, all the guns, all the money, all the everything comes with us. If we have leftover stuff, we put it out there on our front doorstep for our neighbors to have. Okay. And then we go to our next location, and we wait there for 2 days. That gives the people who didn't make it here 2 days to get there. Now things are starting to get a lot more interesting in the city, and probably a lot more interesting in your old neighborhood where you were 2 days ago, right? Now they're starting to become fearful. Now they're starting to really, the ones who didn't believe are now starting to doubt. The ones who doubted are now starting to believe. Okay, so you don't want to be there during that time. You do not want to be there at the time that somebody comes to your house and asks for food, because then you either have to refuse them and then defend that refusal, or you give it to them and jeopardize your own children's lives. Hey, buddy. So after 2 days there, then we move to the next location. And now we're farther away. Okay. And the people in our group know, okay, I wasn't able to get, because maybe they're waiting on people. I won't go into detail here, but some of those people are waiting for other people, other places to get to them before they come to me. Okay. So this is why there has to be these steps taken. So we wait there for a couple of days. And then if that's, if whoever shows up by then is there. They're the ones that are finally going on the next legs. And also they're a good group that if we needed to stay at that location, now we have our group. And then, but if we're able to move on, then we keep moving on. And there's just a couple of people who knows where the midpoint one is, and then we go on to our final destination. The thing is this: everybody's situation is going to be different. You're going to have different considerations than I have. But the important thing is you have a plan, and that the other people who might be a part of that plan understand at least the part that they need to understand. Okay? The people who are, and now you're going to have people that you're in constant contact with. They know a lot because they probably are a part of your core. Okay? You're going to have people that are family. But you don't see them but once in a blue moon. Okay? They're not going to know much of the plan. The only plan they need to know is be at my house. Okay. You're going to have some that are close enough. You're going to be able to drive over a couple of times, touch base, discuss. What do you think? Are you going to go with us? Are you not going to go with us? Whatever. You're going to be able to have those communications for a while, and it's going to be fairly safe. Nobody's going to be out there ambushing you on the road the next few days. In the suburbs, because pretty much all of them are fully expecting the electricity to come back on. Now, things are already blowing up down in the urban core, but that's not your concern because they're not coming out into the suburbs. And if they did start to come towards the outer suburbs, it would be over. It would be taken care of in the inner and the middle suburbs before they ever get out. Because those people in the inner and the middle suburbs are not stupid, and they're tough, and they have guns. And while they may not survive long term, although there are a couple of groups I believe who will, and I've written about them in my books, they may not survive long term. They will survive long enough to make sure that you don't have to deal with those golden hordes that everybody's so afraid of. So I think that's it. That's kind of, that I skipped the surface of kind of what I think. What your triggers are going to be are different than my triggers. What your filters are going to be for the people are going to be different than my filters. And that's okay, but you have to decide what's right for you. And anyway, getting back to the new book, I'm really looking forward to getting in. I've already written about the first chapter just this morning because it just came spilling out. I was so into it. Yes, I'm still, don't worry, I'm working on the 7th book of the Stonemont series. And I'm about halfway done with that. Believe it or not, I'm about halfway done. So yeah, the new series I haven't titled yet. We'll figure it out one of these days. I don't have a target date on it yet, but we will see. And I think it's going to be very interesting, and I'll be able to get into a lot more depth on this subject in that book. So to sign off here, remember, if you want If you want my books, the Stone Mount series, if you don't have them, I suggest you do it. It's going to explain everything that you need to know. And a great story. A story of love and a story of excitement and adventure and all these kinds of things. It's available either through Amazon in paperback or Kindle. Links down below. Or if you want them autographed by me, do it through the Stone Mount website at stonemount.us. There's a place for you to put in the order there. What you would like. What do you want Steve to write in your book for you? And we get them out to you just as quickly as we can. Like I said, we ran out again, but I got another order in. They say it's going to get to me the first week of June. That's pretty quick. So either way, you do it. That's the books. What were the other questions somebody asked? Yeah, T-shirts are coming. Mugs are coming. And some other things are coming. And with that, I'll be interested to see any questions you have now. For those of you who are not with us on Patreon, I'll repeat my invitation. Come to us over on Patreon. The link is down below. If you have questions for me, that's really the place to put them, because I don't always have time to get back to people on YouTube. And Patreon, you can send me a message. And, we can discuss back and forth, or I can answer your question directly, or I can use it as a jump off for a video or whatever. So that's it. I think we covered pretty much everything. We'll have one more sip of coffee. Almost worked out perfect. Bottom of the cup. End of the video. You all remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And even though we'd rather not bug out, having a plan for bug out is all part of living well tomorrow. So you all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.